So obviously, this is going to be a test of the Tooliom weld. When welding, that noise from the previous video is probably this fan. Obviously, when you're welding, you want obviously the fan running to protect your lungs. So yeah, so this was the weld from the Tooliom. This is the T-joint, and then you can see just we have two tests. But what we're going to do today is we're going to test this T-joint made with a flux core off that Tooliom welder, as you can see right here. So you could watch a previous video to see how I welded that and the settings and all that. But now we're going to do a test on the strength. So as you could see, the back of this is not welded at all. So we're going to do a bend test with a hammer to see how strong this is. So let's move that out of the way. So let's try this out. This is a weld joint that we're testing. We're testing the strength of this joint. So let's give it a shot. Let's try, obviously not, let's try something else. It's not even moving. See, I got the sledgehammer. It's not even bending, really. We're getting some slight bends, slight. So you could see it was straight before. Now we're keep on bending it. Let's see where it fails. We're gonna see if it fails at the weld, or as you can see, we're bending it. This is our joint. Let's see where the weld fails. See, if the weld fails, we know it might be a crappy welder, maybe, or I might be a crappy welder, or the welder, the Tooliom welder, no good. As you can see, we completely bent this thing over entirely, and the weld hasn't failed. It's still strong. So let's try this. Now it's not bending anymore. Yeah, I can't bend this down anymore because it already touched. So yeah, you could see the weld right there. The weld is still good. I don't know if you could see. Looks like it penetrated well in the metal. So so as you can see, I guess this is eighth inch stuff, 1/8 inch angle, 1/8 inch plate. So this Tooliom welder, I think it's actually pretty good. And I'm also going to show you how to do the wire, feed the wire on this welder. So you're going to want it unplugged and not running, because if you have it when it's running, you're not going to get hurt or anything. You can actually feel the electricity moving through this wire. So the way you do it is, what you do is you put your spool on. You know, it's not that hard. You have these nuts. You just undo them. You know, I kind of don't want to do it. You know, I already set it up. I don't feel like doing that. But, you know, just put the spool on and then take the wire, feed it through the spring. Make sure it rests on that roller. You can see this roller. There's some grooves in the roller. Make sure it sits in the groove. And then once it's in the groove, there's a top roller that you just put in, and then like this, and then you just pull this lever back up, and then you're done. You could adjust the tightness of the wire by twisting this this knob, but I just left as default the setting that came from the factory, which is on 4. See this numbers? I just have it on 4. Seems to work well. I could show you all the features, so why not we just do that? So I'm gonna run it on 110 now, because my 220 thing, I unplugged one of the cords, so I'm not gonna get. So you could see now it automatically adjusts to 110. This is kind of hard with this camera to actually show you stuff. Weird. Yeah. Let's see if it can focus. Alright, yeah, it's focused now. So what you have is you have this button on the left that you press to go to different modes. So you see that mode is CO2, this mode is lift TIG, that is stick welding, MMA, this is CO2 100%, see if it focuses, and then you have flux core. So you select your mode on this button, and then you can adjust things. Like 2T is you press the trigger and the wire flows out, and then when you release the trigger, the wire stops. So I left it as default. Let's see if it focuses. Come on, focus, focus. Yeah, I guess we're having some trouble focusing. But now you obviously have the inductance setting, so if you want to set the inductance, you can set it from 0 to 10. I have it on 10. Higher inductance is deeper penetration. You could select 4T or 2T. Keep it on 2T, inductance 10. So then it'll give it a few seconds and it'll clear out. So those are your settings on flux. With the exact same settings for MIG. So if you want to see the stick welding settings, you can see it has arc force and hot start. So hot start makes your life easier to start. VRD, that's garbage, just leave it off. Hot start, you could set 0 to 10. I have it on 10. Arc force, I want deep penetration, so I just set it on 10, so it digs into the metal. So those are the settings. VRD is supposedly like if you're welding in a humid environment, it lowers the voltage, the open circuit voltage, so it doesn't shock things. Voltage reduction, VRD, you don't want that. And as you can see on 110, it limits your current to 160. We're on 240. You have access to the full range of current. So obviously we're running on 110 now. So this is actually, this is your flux core line, the ground. Hopefully this makes sense. It actually, the 220, it runs on 15 amp breakers. When I plug it in here, and 15, actually if you read the literature, it says that a 15 amp breaker, when you're drawing 30 amps constant, will take up to 2 minutes to pop. So basically you have 2 minutes of consistent welding time if you use some 215 amp weld outlets and combiner. So that's all. Yeah, absolutely. Alright, this is, alright, splendid. So yeah, so...
It's on the right-hand side.
Okay, I understand. So obviously, this welder works fine, and those are all the settings. Hopefully, if you have any questions, let me know. This goes on sale for $250 on Amazon. It's pretty decent, So yeah.